Hello, Karen here from Soulful and Wild, and we're going to talk about tarot card rituals today. Now, you're probably aware that I am a mad tarot lover, and I've been reading the tarot for about 30 years. Actually, it's 30 years this year, and I've been involved in spiritual things for, well, before then, really, as many of us have, yeah. But today, talking about some sacred rituals that we can do with the tarot. Now, I guess the thing is, working with the tarot is a spiritual practice from my perspective, not so for everybody. It's a little bit like some people who are artists treat their paints and the process of the creation of an artwork like a spiritual undertaking. And for me, reading the tarot is the same. So a lot of this is about intention. So I'm going to try and fit in 3 different rituals that you can do. We'll see how we go time-wise. Now, the first one may sound a little simple, but it is not a mundane thing, a daily tarot card practice. So I'm going to describe to you how I think this can be done and made a sacred practice or a sacred ritual, if you will. Now, I don't know if you have ever been into an old church or an ancient cathedral. If you do go into a place like that where people have prayed and honoured God and taken their woes and their hopes and their dreams, and sat with those in silence and in prayer, you don't wander into a place like that. It has its own energy, its own vibration, and when you enter into it, you move into that space yourself. And I would suggest that when you do your daily tarot card practice and you make that a ritual, that you enter into it the same way that you would if you entered into an ancient cathedral, with a sense of reverence, yeah? You're not going to walk in there, stomp, stomp, stomp with your muddy old gumboots and your dirty, top on. You're going to go in clean, clear, with that real sense of reverence is probably the best word to use. So there are so many benefits to a daily tarot card practice, and you can just make it part of your life, right? So I recommend that you have a very special tarot deck that you use for that. If you've just got one deck, then, you will use that for everything. But if you happen to have a collection of tarot decks because you've caught the bug, and it is a bug, it's kind of a fun bug, but, you might end up 50 before you know what's happened to you. You might choose to have one deck in particular that you use for this practice, and you might keep it in a special place. Perhaps you have a special table that you turn into kind of like an altar, or your sacred place where you can build that energy of communing with spirit, just the way you would if you were sitting on a particular cushion if you did a meditation on a daily basis or went to church for prayer. So with that right headspace, with the right energy, you are going to shuffle your cards, boom, boom, boom. And I recommend that you drop the deck into 3 piles, moving towards your left. Boom, boom, boom. And then you put those piles back together into one, but you put them in a different order, so you're sort of mixing it up a bit. Then cut the deck in half, and then allow your awareness to be drawn to one pile or the other, and use that pile to select your card from. And that pile that you choose, I'd spread the cards face down on your table or your altar, and either allow your hand to run above the cards and just be drawn to one in particular, or you might scan with your eyes across the cards, and one card will draw your attention, and that's the one that you choose. And of course, before you select the card, you're holding that thought in your mind, or you might actually say it out loud. What wisdom is available to me today? And then choose the card. Or what teaching? You can actually fine tune this a little bit to suit yourself. But I think they're quite nice ones. What wisdom can I be shown today, or what wisdom can I be given today? I'd suggest that you have your own tarot journal, a special book, and once you've selected the card, give yourself a few minutes, a space in which to do this, and look at that card and just sit with it. Take a couple of breaths, perhaps. You might actually, that's a really great idea. If you take 3 lovely deep breaths, not too deep, you don't want to hyperventilate, but 3 lovely, deep, naturally deep breaths, perhaps before you ask the question and choose the cards. That's probably the nicest thing to do. What it does is it creates space for this new information to come in. And so take your breaths, then select, ask the question, then select the card, and then you are tuning into the card. And you can just allow your eyes to fall to the image and just notice what comes up to meet you. And you might get one particular symbol from within that card really jumps out to you first. So pay attention to that. And as you sit with it, just for a few moments, allow whatever is there to come. All right? You don't have to turn this into a great big thing, but be still with it and allow the card to speak to you. You notice the color, any particular symbols there, what's the picture about? And you might get a sentence or two, you might get a lot more. You may just get one word. Write that down in your journal. Write it down. Then pop your cards away. I like to leave that card that I've chosen standing upright so that when I come home, I can see it there. And at the end of the day, when you've got a moment, whether you're having a little cup of tea or a glass of water before you go to bed, go back to your tarot cards and to your journal. Pick up the card again and have a think about the day. Just revisit it. And just consider how this card has shown up for you, how the message has shown up for you. Have a read of what you wrote in the morning. Just see if there's anything else that you can add to it. I'm sure there will be if you sit with this for a few moments. Now, this does 2 things. It gets you really familiar with the cards themselves. It gives you an opportunity to gather to yourself your own symbols, your own meanings for each of the cards. And it does bring teaching to you, reflection opportunities, and wisdom. All right, wisdom to you. These tarot cards, they really are quite magical in the sense that they bring information to you. They can teach you so much about who you are, how you're operating, and how you respond, where you're triggered. All sorts of wonderful learning can come to you through these images. So, a daily tarot card practice. And I would suggest that every day of the week, for a set period of time, you might do it for 12 months. And if you keep a record in your book for a whole year, just a simple practice like this, seemingly simple, you'll actually learn a lot about yourself. And knowledge is power. When we know who we are, it's so much easier to interact with others, be present and be compassionate with them. But this is for you, yeah? And it is all about the way you show up to do this and the meaning that you give it. So that is practice number 1, the daily tarot card practice. Now, the other thing is, let's call it tarot feng shui, all right? Now, I imagine that you either have an interest in the tarot, you are a tarot reader, or you'd like to know more about the tarot. Now, whether you know lots about it or not, we both know that you can easily access what a tarot card, its meaning, its standardized meaning is. And, you can Google that. You can follow me on TikTok. There's lots and lots of ways. You've probably got a book at home. If not, you can get one. There's heaps of stuff on the internet about the tarot card meanings. So look at your home and the things that you want to have happen there. Now, I imagine that you know what feng shui is. It's about the use of symbols and the placement of things in your home to move energy through your home in a way that is beneficial for you and your intentions for your place. So you can actually use the tarot card images or a symbol that represents the tarot card archetype and place that in certain parts of your house to create the energy that you're seeking. Now, I'll tell you a funny story. I live in a very small little house, and which I adore. I think they call them shousers. It's sort of a shed house, really cool, fun. And so it's smallish, but perfect for me. And when I was building this little place, I thought, okay, I want to lay the right energy down, right down from the very beginning. So what I did is I got a tarot deck and I sat with the tarot and I thought about what was going to be happening in my home, what I wanted to have happen, how I wanted things to be in my office, this space here. What's the energy that I wanted this space to hold? What energy should be resident in this room, in this part of my home, to really bring my work to life and make it be beneficial to individuals and groups and to the world, to the collective. So I had to think about that, and I thought about all the different cards, what it could be, and then I actually consulted the tarot in the traditional way. I asked the question after shuffling the cards and really being in the right space, and I selected a card. And so I did that for each area of the house. So, for example, in the kitchen, I chose the sun card because the sun is about health and vitality and energy and joy. And I thought that is the perfect energy for me to have in the kitchen area. And so I chose a card for each area of the home, even the front entrance, the verandas. On my back veranda, I have an area for sitting and having cups of tea and chats, a couple of chairs and a little table in between. And I've got a lovely old timber table with some bench seats on the other end of the veranda where, friends gather for meals. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of work out there, but mostly it's about social gatherings and family gatherings that happen there. So I was thinking about that and I thought, the Nine of Cups, perfect. People sitting at a table, in some of the decks anyway. I was thinking about a particular deck, and it shows, people sitting there at the table with the goblets and the plates, and they're all sharing food. And I thought, perfect. That's exactly what I want. The 10 of Cups actually went into the lounge room, into that lounge area. Now, what I did is I actually selected those cards, and when they were laying the foundation for this place, I went and put the tarot cards in underneath, the metal stuff that they pour the concrete onto. And I spoke to the builder and ensured that he wouldn't let the concreters remove the cards. So the foundation of this house has these tarot cards in them. Now, that's a very literal way of doing it, and I had the opportunity to do that, so of course I did. But we can do that by literally placing a card in the room, leaning it up against a little crystal. You can get these gorgeous little timber tarot card holders where you can actually sit the bottom of the card into a slit in the timber, and it'll just sit there beautifully. The other thing that you can do is you can look at your tarot card and pick out a particular symbol. For example, with this one, the Temperance card, you could put two vases, two bud vases, or two goblets on a bench or a windowsill as a representation of the tarot card. So tarot feng shui, why the heck not? I mean, not everybody wants to have a poster of a tarot card or have one stuck on the wall or the back of the door or something. So there's a lot of different ways you can do that. But what that does do is it brings the energy that you're seeking to really have emanate through the space into the space in a very practical, literal way. So that's a lovely ritual that you can do, because you can think about it, you can make a list, you can do a meditation on how you want things to be. Say, for example, in your bedroom. If you want beautiful sleep, if you want intimate lovemaking happening in that room, then you might choose something like the Lovers. I've got a gorgeous painting on the wall in my bedroom. It is not the Lovers card. I've got that in the foundation. But on the wall, I've actually got a painting above the bed that shows a man and a woman laying down next to each other, relaxing against a haystack. It's a famous painting. I can't remember what it's called now. And they're just reclining together on this haystack. The work has been done, so it's rest time. You can do it in that way. And they are obviously a couple, so that's a wonderful one to do. Something like that. So there's lots of ways you can bring the symbology in, but it's the way you do it. So you can meditate on what you want to have happening in that room, imagine it. You can go through the cards one by one, thinking about holding that idea and that energy, and go through, one at a time, looking at them and really reflect on each card. Which of these cards holds that energy or brings that feeling to you in your body, in your heart? And then that will be the one that you'll use. So you can do it that way. You can shuffle the cards, hold the question in your mind, and pick a card with your left hand as you would as though you were doing a reading. That's a more traditional way of doing it, but many ways. It's all about the energy you bring, how you hold yourself. Yeah. Okay, so we've done the daily tarot card practice. We've done the tarot feng shui. Now, the 3-card spread. Think about a situation that you want to bring more light to, okay, or more clarity to. What is it that you want to bring more light or more clarity to? And in exactly the way I described with the other two, your intention, the energy that you're holding. Basically, this is a 3-card spread. That's the issue. You choose 3 cards. The first card number 1, shows the past. What has caused this to be an issue? Card number 3, so that's card number 1. Card number 3 is, card number 2 is, oh my goodness. So number 1, the past of the situation. Card number 2, the current situation. And card number 3, the action that you need to take. That's one way to do it. The second way to do it, this is why I got confused, is position number 1 is what the situation is. So that this first card represents what the situation is that you need to bring light or clarity to. Position number 2 is kind of the bridging card. It's the action that you need to take to get the clarity. And the third card, card number 3, is the outcome. It's how it will be when the light is there, when the clarity is received. Okay, so I've given you 2 different ways to resolve a hidden agenda, really. Okay, so a practice, a ritual action, an action that you take, a 3-card spread to work out how to resolve a problem or to bring more light in, more clarity into a situation. Okay, so that's 3 things. Let's do a 4th. We've got time for a 4th. I don't know if you've taken notes on this, but you can replay the podcast. So this is a tarot commitment to your dreams. Now, dreams are funny things. People get a little bit weird about making a commitment to a dream. Don't mind me, it's a little bit warm where I am today. Now, when we make a commitment to a dream, we're basically making a promise to ourselves that we're going to take action. So getting clear about what our dream is, our major dream, not a pie-in-the-sky idea or a hope or a wish, but a commitment to a dream. When we make a commitment, we're basically making a promise to take action. That's why people get a bit freaked out about it. So, how do we do that? A tarot commitment to your dreams. Number 1, you need to get clear about what that dream actually is. What is that dream? So obviously you're going to drop yourself into a really calm, relaxed place. So you might like to do that with me now. So just get really comfortable wherever you are. If you're driving, don't do this. But if you're still somewhere and you have the opportunity, you might like to close your eyes, take a couple of lovely, relaxing breaths, just allowing your awareness to travel with your breath, just breathing into your body and releasing that breath naturally and easily. And just keep breathing and relaxing. Just let your awareness travel with the breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Just gentle, gentle breathing. And you'll find that your mind does settle and you do get a little bit calmer. If you don't want to get too calm, just enough. Yeah. And just let your mind begin to move, to float, to travel, to wander into dreamland. And in your dreamland, you might find that there are clouds that move or mist. And as you breathe gently and easily, that mist or the clouds begins to shift. And as it does, you'll notice before you some scenarios. And if you look over that way, you'll see a particular scenario, a certain idea, a concept, or a dream. And then allow your awareness to move in a different direction and notice what you notice there. And you can just do this for a few more breaths allowing different scenes to come into your awareness. Keep breathing and relaxing. And as you do, just allow your attention to be drawn more fully towards one of those scenes. The one that has more colour, where there's movement and perhaps sound or sensation. And as that becomes more evident to you, begin to notice the details around that scene. And as you notice more and more details, it will become clear to you that this is the dream that you can make a commitment to for now. And as that settles within you, you can just let your breath continue to move into your body and out. Just notice that you're relaxed. And when you're ready, just very gently open your eyes. So you've identified in a very gentle, easy way a scenario representative of your dream. The dream for now, because dreams can change. As more information becomes present, you can change your mind. More information sometimes will make you do a lane change. You haven't gone off the highway, you've just changed lane perhaps. But for now, you've got your dream is clear, your scenario that you're going to commit to. So get your tarot cards, shuffle them in the normal way, and ask yourself, how many cards do I need to get more information about my dream? And you might choose 3. You might get a different number. Whatever number you get, you're going to choose those cards. Turn them up and look at them. Sit with them. Notice them. Pay attention. And record them in your tarot journal. Yeah. Now, the important thing is the cards that come next. And these are the cards that are action-oriented, because there is no commitment until action is taken, right? So you're going to choose a number of cards. The first one is, what is the first action I need to take to move this dream into reality? And choose a card. What is the first action I need to take? Turn the card over, write it down in your journal, and sit with that. Make a little note of what comes to you. What is the action I need to take to bring this into reality? The next card is, in what time frame do I need to take this action? You will get something from the card. And even if you don't get it straight away, write down what you get, because you can revisit this. The third card, the next one, so we've got what action I need to take, in what time frame do I need to take that, and the third one is, what will the outcome be if I do these 2 things? Okay, and depending on what your outcome card is, you may or may not need to choose some more cards. So this is obviously a moving feast. You can respond to this. And, rituals are not solid things. They can be But we don't live in a black and white world. We don't live in this static world. So we've talked about 4 different ritualistic things to do with the tarot cards. The first is a daily tarot card practice. We make it sacred by our intention, how we do it. We've done the tarot feng shui for your home. We've done the 3-card spread and a tarot commitment to your dreams. Now, you might choose, with that tarot commitment to your dreams, you might like to choose one tarot card that actually represents the dream that you can, keep around on your altar so that you revisit it. If you've got a long time frame that or you need to do a number of steps to actualize your dream, then that will be very helpful. Because some dreams don't happen overnight. Some of them are long-term. This is actually quite a lot of stuff that I've kind of shared with you in this little rituals show. So I would love to hear how you find that, which ones you've done, which ones you haven't done but intend to do. So do let me know. I'll be very interested. All right, well, that's all I've got for you today, and enjoy using that reverent, sacred approach to working with your tarot cards.